There once was a man who had a cat. The cat was sick of sitting at home and catching mice, so he decided to leave the man and see the world. So that is just what he did. He went into the woods, and there, in a clearing, he saw Miss Vixen. "Hi, how are you?" asked the vixen. "I am Mr. Cat," said the cat. "Be my husband, and I will be your wife," proposed Miss Vixen. The cat agreed, and Miss Vixen took him to her home, and they started a prosperous life together. One day, Mr. Rabbit met Miss Vixen in the woods. "My friend, Miss Vixen, I'm coming to visit you. We will have a nice chat." Miss Vixen answered, "I am sorry, my friend. I am Mr. Cat's wife, and he can tear you up and rip you to shreds." Amazed, Mr. Rabbit ran quickly to tell Mr. Bear, Mr. Wolf, and Mr. Wild Boar about that. They were surprised and wanted to meet Mr. Cat. They decided to invite him for dinner. Mr. Wolf said, "I will bring some meat for soup." "I will bring some beetroot and potatoes," said Mr. Wild Boar. "And I will bring some honey as a snack," added the bear. "And Mr. Rabbit will show us the way," they said all together. Mr. Rabbit ran to Miss Vixen's house and waited for her outside. She came out and saw a shaky Mr. Rabbit next to her house and said, "How do you do? Why did you come?" "Mr. Wolf, Mr. Bear, and Mr. Wild Boar wish to invite you and your husband for dinner." "Okay," answered Miss Vixen. "We will come to dinner, but be sure that everybody hides to avoid being torn up and ripped to shreds." Mr. Rabbit ran to let his friends know about the invitation. The animals didn't want to risk it and hid. Mr. Bear climbed on a tree. Mr. Wolf hid among the bushes. Mr. Wild Boar hid himself in a thicket, and Mr. Rabbit under a tree. They were sitting and waiting to see what would happen next. Miss Vixen and Mr. Cat arrived. As soon as Mr. Cat saw the meat on the table, he meowed. "Meow, meow." The hidden animals heard a voice. "I'll tear you to pieces." At the same time, Mr. Cat jumped on the table and started eating. Then he fell asleep on the table. Suddenly, Mr. Mosquito arrived and bit Mr. Wild Boar on his tail. Mr. Boar had to scratch himself, which woke Mr. Cat, who jumped into the bushes thinking it was a mouse. Frightened, Mr. Wild Boar ran in a panic. Mr. Cat jumped up the tree where Mr. Bear had taken shelter. When Mr. Bear saw Mr. Cat jump up the tree, he began to climb higher and higher. The top of the tree was too thin to support them. Mr. Bear fell unto Mr. Wolf, who was hidden in the bushes. They were scared and ran away. Mr. Rabbit followed them, making off like a shot. After a while, the animals met again. They agreed that although Mr. Cat was so small, but ha! It was close. He would have eaten them all.